Yo, here we go with episode 4 of the aggressive speed run. The aggression speed run. Bring the aggression. The lesson in the aggression. Okay, here we go. So, shout out to you guys. We've been getting so much love off the speed run. You guys been wanting it. We've been delivering it. So, thanks for all the comments there. And you guys have been ready to go. This is episode 4 of the aggression speed run here. And a lot of you guys were saying in the last video that you want to see every game, and more than one game. So we're going to start doing 2 games for you guys every single time. You're getting 2 games in the speed runs here, and of course going through the ranks. So here we go. Now let's we always go over to PowerPoint just in case it's the first time you're seeing this. You know, aggression, speed run, fast, aggressive, tactical chess. Why aggressive chess? Because passive chess kind of slows improvement, and it just shows you how to defend rather than attack. The best defense is offense. Aggression forces calculation and pattern recognition. Here we go. Aggression advantage. This is our advantage when we're aggressive is concrete calculation, pattern recognition, and confidence under pressure. Opening repertoire, Jobava London only with white, King's Indian with black against D4 and against the black lion, or black lion against E4 is what we're playing basically. So speed run format will be, well actually it was 1 per episode, but now we have 2 per episode. You guys have changed that up. Here's the rating climb from 400. We're now at 5. Or actually, yeah, 5 and some change now. We're going 400 to 2,000. And here we go. So now chess is going to be fun, aggressive, and fast chess too as well. We are playing 10 minutes per side. Here we go. Let's begin. And speed run game. We got black again. This is ridiculous. Every game has been like black, but E3 move 1. So at least we'll get white next game. I hope. So we'll play D6, the same stuff. Let's see where we go. We went D4, so I'm going to go knight F6. We can still go black lion or King's Indian. So this setup here, do I want to go lion or King's Indian? You have a choice. I could try for knight D7, E5, bishop E7, C6 stuff, black lion, or I could go King's Indian. I'm curious. So if I go knight D7 with E5, he does have the G3 variations, which could get a little weird, but I could also just try King's Indian here. Which one do we want to go for? We're going to go King's Indian. We're going to go King's Indian. Should we do it, guys? Like, I want to go lion 2, E5, C6, queen C7, H6, G5 stuff. But I can't get to F4 with the knight. So because I can't get to F4 with the knight because the pawn is here, this is actually out of book. Like, this is random stuff, sort of like a Kali. We're going to go G6. So we are going to go King's Indian style. Now we got our first King's Indian here. He goes knight to C3. We're going to fianchetto our bishop to G7. Usually our setup stays the same. And we're looking at castle next. So let's see what happens. Knight to G5. This is not a move. The reason for it is we've seen this in the last game too as well. You're just doing nothing with the knight. The knight is just here by himself trying to attack nothing. In fact, I'm going to castle just to castle here. Of course, rook takes will be a thing, but this is just not a great move because it can be kicked away. And I am going to kick it away in a minute here. So he wants to probably do the 2 for 1. I'm going to allow him. H6, attack the knight. I'm going to pre-move rook takes F7 because he's probably going to take it. And he doesn't. So yeah, he just kind of wasted a move or a tempo or tempi, as we like to say. Now, I could go D5, I could go C5, I could go knight C6, I could go bishop G4. There's a lot of moves to play here. I might go with knight C6, try for E5. I could go E6, I could go bishop G4. I also have C5 too as well. I don't want to trade right now. I don't want a lot of trades. C5 would allow some type of in-game type of play. Takes, and queen takes D8. So I'm going to go knight D7. This bishop, I might even use the double fianchetto feature. So he goes D5. Nice. So what I'm going to do here is go maybe C5. Let's go C5. And if en passant, well, then now I'm able to get rid of this pawn. I'm also trying to go A6, B5 next in some cases. But I do want to try to hit this bishop. We're sort of in Benoni territory now. Yeah, he's going the other way. So this one actually was really bad. Why? Because it's now going to give us a tempo with A6, and then we go B5 to follow up. So I'm going to start with the A6 move, and then I get B5 for free. Tempi. You always say 3 threats or more in a row, right? And you want to be aggressive and attack, especially as an attacking player and being aggressive. We want threats all the time. So now I have a lot of space. The bishop could be trapped if he goes back, but he went here. So now this pawn is weak. I can actually win it right now. But let's look out for tactics. B4, knight here, knight takes. Okay, B4, knight E2, knight takes, bishop takes, and the queen takes. So I'm actually going to go here first. We're going to put a little bit more pressure on this pawn. E4 is a move, but I might be able to go C4 and B4. Yeah, so he's not paying attention. I'm actually just going to go B4 now. If I take this, there's a weird tactic involved, I think. Could just take it, though. Knight takes, takes. So there's a lot of takes. Takes. I'm going to take it and see what he comes up with. Let's see if he goes for it. We'll take the pawn. So now this bishop is loose. He could try this, but that actually runs into bishop takes f3 that wins on the spot for us tactically. Same thing with bishop b5. The reason why it wins is because we're hitting his queen. So he goes c4. This gives up another pawn here, boys and girls. We're going to take this other pawn, another one. We're going to take this one. Now the bishop is hanging. He can also try this again, but that would allow bishop takes f3. So we grab an extra pawn. Also, we did have a request to make the board bigger. So I forgot about that. So I'm actually going to do that right here, right now. There we go. Yeah, we're back here. We're going to live on this seat. That's where we should be. So, well, boys and girls, we're going to take that one. We're going to take that. Bishop takes bishop. It's not a great move. Bishop takes bishop. Here we go. Okay. Let's see what white does next. He's just giving away his pieces. One thing you want to do is give the pieces they take. You know, if they're giving you pieces, take them away. You know what I'm saying? So queen a4, I guess he's trying to take this pawn. This actually allows us to take on f3, and we're going to follow up with this strong move, knight e5, to hit this as well. I'm going to pre-move it. So knight takes f3 is on the works. Knight takes f3 is my next idea, and then I want to go like this. I want to start bringing pieces into the game for checkmate. See what happens. This is my plan. Okay, knight f3 first. If king g2, I'm going to go knight h4 check. Try to draw the king out a little bit further. I still have this too as well. Not after king g2 though. King g2, I need to get out of there first. My knight is hanging. So we're at material. I mean, it's very easy when you're up. They say trade when you're up, not when you're down is the goal. Trade when you're up, not when you're down, boys and girls. We're up material. Very easy work for us. Let's see what happens. He also gave us a piece for free, gave us a pawn, you know. And we have this monstrous bishop. We went King's Indian route. The reason why we didn't go lion or full lion is because when we play the black lion and the knight maneuvers like this, we usually go to f4, but because he played e3 early on, f4 is not a square we can go to. So as he's thinking, you know, we're just kind of go through it again. This is why I chose King's Indian, because I thought about, I would love to go lion steal. It's more aggressive, I believe, sometimes than the King's Indian. But when we get our lion set up, I'm just going to draw the arrows. When this knight gets around to f4, we can never go there. So it doesn't even make sense to play a lion at all. It makes more sense to play King's Indian. So g6, bishop g7, and then of course this wasn't the greatest move. Bishop c4, and yeah, we fast forward into our position we have now as we wait for him to make a move. And then cue the Jeopardy music. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. We just kind of wait for him to make a move. King h1 or king g2 are the only moves you have here. Not a lot to think about. Well, guys, I guess, yeah. Well, how are you doing in chat? Did you subscribe? If you didn't, I guess you can take this time to subscribe. Hit the sub button if you haven't already. But watch the other speedrun videos. Go watch all the videos. In fact, share this post. Share this video. We're going to be here for a while. He's thinking it out. Difficult decision between King. Okay, there it is. We got the dub. We got the dub. Yeah, dog. Okay, bro. He just dipped out. He just left. Makes sense. We won by abandonment. So, quick game review here. Quick game review. Let's check it out. All right, so we're going to go full screen for the game review. Here we go. 90% act there. Nice. Percent little act there. Okay, here we go. E3, D6, knight F6, right? We kind of briefly talked about this. Again, we went with the King's Indian route because, and they said knight D7 was a move too as well, right? That they're pointing out, but we didn't want to go lion because a key setup, a key move that we play in the black lion is getting this knight to F4 via this route. But this F4 square is always taken, so it doesn't make sense to go for the lion. So we went with the King's Indian setup. Bishop G7, Knight G5. It's just a good move. That's crazy. That's diabolical. Knight G5 is just not a good move. And from a human standpoint, because it's just moving the piece twice in the opening. You're not attacking anything, and then after castle, you're not going to sacrifice, and you can be kicked away quite quickly. So bishop c4, h6, kicking the knight. Knight goes back to the house. I go knight d7. I could have played e5 or c5, but I don't want to trade queens voluntarily. Like if I go c5 and he takes, and I takes back, and then queen takes, yeah, okay, cool, we're fine here. But in aggressive chess, we don't want to voluntarily trade queens, you know. We trade queens if we have to, but not voluntarily, you know. So knight d7, so I can play c5, take back with the knight or something, or even play e5. But I don't want to trade queens immediately. So he goes d5, I go c5. Engine didn't like it. They wanted c6, but that's okay. Knight b5, which is the same thing he did on the other side, but that allows us to kick the knight immediately. I have a rule that I teach a lot of students here. If you're looking for lessons, obviously, send me an email. If we have any slots available, then of course I will get back with you. With that, I'll tell you what is available. But in this, what's going on here is anything that crosses the line, when they cross the line, they have to go. What does that mean? What's the line? Anything 8 to 5, anything 5 to 8 is all black's territory, and vice versa. Anything 1 to 4, 4 to 1 is all white's territory. Anything that crosses needs to be eliminated. So a6 is the move, kicking the knight. Then after the knight moves away, b5, free tempo. Bishop moves away, and then bishop b7, attacking his pawn. Then b4, or we could have played b4 too, but knight takes just wins a pawn. Takes. He goes c4, which is a blunder. We're up a pawn. Now we grab another pawn here, and then we take the bishop because that was just, you know, a terrible move. We get the free piece. He goes queen a4. We take this knight to damage the king structure. Knight e5, attacking the pawn. He goes f4 to attack us. We check him, and he leaves the game. He has king g2 or king h1. If king g2, I was going to go knight h4 and then, you know, figure out what to do next. If king h1, I was going to go queen to c8 with the idea of queen h3. So this one's over. Now, it's important to know when to switch and when to go for king's Indian and playing with f4 activity. So with that being said, let's move on to the next game. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, next game. And we got the white pieces. Lock in, clock in. We going with Jar Jar Binks London, aka Jobava. I'm gonna pre-move knight c3. Okay, I should. Okay, maybe not. if I would have played pre-moved it and takes, that's a fun line. But generally speaking, when they go c5 like this, you have two choices. You can take, or you can take space with d5. I'm gonna take the space with d5. It's my favorite lines because it takes space, and when you have space, it's generally an advantage. And it's hard for black to accurately play. If they don't play accurately, they're in trouble. So I'm going to grab the space and see what black does next. My next moves, though, are trying to take over the center with e4, bishop d3, and I think in my course, I give knight d2 in a lot of cases. So he goes with the early check. I'm going to go bishop d2. I'm going to go with bishop d2. I get a move. I'm attacking the queen immediately. This check is not good because you're bringing the queen out early. As we saw, I think in episode 3, when the queen got trapped. When you bring your queen out early, it's very easy for it to get attacked, and you can also lose it. So, bishop d2, I'm attacking the queen. He goes queen. I figured he would go for this. I could go e4 and allow him queen takes here. Wait, is this queen trapped there? No, he has queen b6. It's very frequent that you can sacrifice this pawn. It's for initiative. Initiative means time and activity. So that gives you chances later at the cost of a pawn. So I'm going to go knight to c3 and allow him to take, but I'm going to gain tempi, aka tempo, mini tempo, plural, on his queen. So now he takes, and now I'm going to go rook b1, which attacks the queen again. Only move is queen a3, and watch the tactic here. Now, pause the video. I want you to find the best move in this position. Now, if you didn't pause the video, we're going to keep going anyway, but there's a move here that wins on the spot, and that move is knight to b5. We are already winning, boys and girls. The queen is attacked. Knight c7 is a thing. If you go queen a5, you've lost your absolute. Bishop takes a5, and the game is over. But the game is already over here right now, as we are going to pick up this rook right now. Unless he gives up the queen, we'll take either or. Doesn't matter. So, now can I trap the queen? They say when you find a good move, look for a better one. So, rook a1. No, this is hanging. Well, I could try to bait him into some stuff. Well, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it just to see if he's paying attention, you know. When you find a good move, look for it. But let's just see, guys. We got breathe. Okay, I'm good. Knight c7, we pre-move, and we walk away. Thought he was going to resign. I thought he was going to resign, but he didn't. So we still have a game, boys and girls. We still have a game. So I thought he was going to resign. It would have been a nice way to end it, but it's all good. Here goes knight f6. So knight f6, attacking the knight. We're going to go with this cool move, bishop a5 check, allowing b6 to happen. And watch the tactinos just explode in the position. b6, I'm going to do knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, king here, and rook takes a8. If he moves a king, it's going to be a long night, if you know what I mean. Knight c7 check. Yeah, okay, well, he went for this. Knight takes, we're going to do bishop takes, and I'm going to pre-move this as well. So we're going to make all these pre-moves here. Really cool stuff. Very quick win here. We were able to take advantage of the queen out early. This is why, guys, if you're moving your queen out early, you got to stop it. You have to stop it, or else you're going to end up just like this. Game's over, boys and girls, and that's a dub. And that's a dub. That's a quick dub there. So now let's do the game review and wrap up for the day. So here we go. We got 2 games up here. 99.5. My goodness, almost 100% game. Sheesh. Okay, you seen it here first. Now, let's go through the game. Is d4. After d4, he went c5. Now, you could take this, and you see if I take, he probably would go queen a5 anyway. There's also e6 as a move. But what I like to do, I like to go d5 immediately. This is, again, what I give in my course that's coming up for you guys, too, as well. Jobava course, another one. I also have some other stuff on this files-wise. But d5, it just gains space. It gets around this. They want us to take this pawn, so we don't do what they want. He goes queen a5 check, which isn't a great move, guys, because he's moving the queen out of order. What does that mean? Is I love to tell students, move your pieces in piece order. What does that mean? Is move it in piece in value, in value order. That means bishops and knights. Knights before bishops, generally, that's what they like to say, or knights and bishops. It's just back and forth. You can use the bishops before the knights, knights before bishops. Generally, that's the way to go. But you can move knight and a bishop and etc. Things like that, right? So it's important to move like this, knight, bishop. Then when you castle, that means the rook gets in the game. And then somewhere down the line, you start moving the queen. You can even move the queen in the first few moves, but usually not like this. Just so fast like this, immediately gets attacked. So now I gain a tempo. I get a piece off the back rank for free while attacking the queen. Queen moves to b5. I could push this one, but you know, I'll move the knight. And the reason why this one's cool is because of this. But I'm gonna move the knight. Knight c3 attacks the queen. Queen takes b2. Now the queen's moving a bunch of times while we're getting all these tempi. This rook is now better on b1 than it was on a1, attacking the queen. Queen moves away. Only move was queen a3. Knight b5 wins on the spot here, hitting the queen, and knight c7. So now after queen takes, I could have just went knight c7, but I was like, let me just see if he goes for the pawn in the center of the board, being greedy with the pawn grab here because he's up 2 pawns currently. So after rook a1, he goes queen. Well, he could have went queen b2. This is where I would have repeated. If he went queen b2, then I would repeat rook b1 and then see what he did there or something like that. You know, because it's like this could have happened. Queen b2. I think rook b1. They say e3 is even better, but queen here. You know, if he gets away for a little bit, then I hit him with another tempo. Like, look at this, and then I would go knight c7, right? Then I would go knight c7. But I just wanted to see if he would take the pawn. And he does. He took the pawn, knight c7 check, and we win, guys. We win. We take the queen, beautiful. And now bishop a5 check. Our pieces are just flowing. b6, and of course, after knight takes, he resigned, but it would end like this. Takes, king here, and rook takes. An absolute crushing game here, guys. So with that being said, this was the next speed run. Answer the pinned comment in there. I always have a pinned comment for you guys. Let me know how you like this one, any suggestions and stuff like that too as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the video, and we got more speed run videos to come. Hey, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.